Listen carefully. The moment you give up is the moment you forget who you are. Not when your body breaks. Not when the world turns against you. Not when everything collapses around you. You lose the second your mind surrenders. That's the quiet betrayal no one talks about. The invisible moment when you decide the pain is too much. When you tell yourself it's okay to stop, that you've tried enough, that you deserve rest. And in that moment, you become nothing. Because surrender isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It creeps in like poison. Slowly, silently. Until one day you look in the mirror and don't recognize the person staring back. You know that feeling. The weight pressing down on your chest at 3 in the morning. The exhaustion that goes deeper than your muscles. The voice in your head whispering that you're not strong enough. Not smart enough. Not worthy enough. Everyone feels it. The difference is what you do when it arrives. Most people run. They distract themselves. Numb themselves. They blame the world, blame their circumstances, blame their past. They create elaborate stories about why they can't continue, why they shouldn't have to suffer, why someone else should save them. And they wait for motivation, for inspiration, for the perfect moment when everything aligns and suddenly they feel ready. But that moment never comes. Because the universe doesn't care about your feelings. Your parents don't owe you strength. Your friends can't give you discipline. No one is coming to rescue you from yourself. The loneliness you feel, that's the truth revealing itself. You are alone in this fight. Completely alone. And that's exactly how it should be. Here's the lie they sold you. They told you strength is confidence. That it's motivation. That strong people wake up feeling powerful and ready and unafraid. They lied. Real strength doesn't feel like anything. It's not an emotion. It's not a surge of energy that carries you forward. It's not the voice in your head saying you can do this. Real strength is what remains after motivation dies, after confidence shatters, after hope fades, after every reason to continue disappears. It's the decision to move forward anyway. Not because you feel like it. Not because you believe in yourself. Not because you see the light at the end of the tunnel. But because surrender is not an option your mind recognizes anymore. That's the shift. That's the turning point. When your identity changes from someone who tries when they feel like it to someone who continues regardless of how they feel. And no one can give that to you. This is where ownership begins. The moment you stop looking for external solutions. The moment you accept that your strength is your responsibility and yours alone. No more waiting for the right conditions. No more excuses about timing or resources or support. No more blaming your past for your present. You look at your life and you say, this is mine. All of it. The pain, the failure, the weakness, the fear, mine. And if it's mine, then I control what happens next. Not my emotions, not my circumstances, not the people around me. I do. My mind, my will, my discipline. That's the only weapon you have. The only tool that matters. Your ability to command yourself. To override the weakness. To silence the doubt. To act when every part of you screams to stop. This is self-ownership. This is power. Not given, not inherited, not discovered. Forged. And forging takes time. It takes repetition, routine. The same actions performed over and over when no one is watching, when no one cares, when there's no applause or recognition or proof that it's working. Discipline doesn't need motivation. It doesn't feed on emotions. It exists independent of how you feel. You wake up, you train, you work, you push. Not because you want to, because that's what you do now. Every single day. Even when you're tired. Even when you're hurt. even when it feels pointless. Especially then, because those are the days that build you. The days when you choose yourself over comfort. When you prove to your own mind that surrender is not in your programming. Your emotions will scream. They'll beg you to stop. They'll tell you that one day off won't matter, that you've earned a break, that you're pushing too hard. Ignore them. Emotions are passengers. They don't drive. They don't decide. They exist to be felt and then dismissed. You are the commander, and the commander doesn't negotiate with weakness. This is where you go silent. No announcements, no declarations on social media, no explanations to people who wouldn't understand anyway. You stop talking about what you're going to do. You stop seeking validation for your effort. You stop waiting for people to notice your growth. You become a ghost, strengthening your mind where no one can see. Because real warriors don't perform. They prepare. They don't need an audience. They don't need encouragement. They don't need anyone to believe in them. They believe in the process, in the repetition, in the slow, invisible accumulation of discipline that eventually becomes identity. And one day, people notice. Not because you announced it. Not because you tried to prove anything. But because you became different. Unmistakably different. This is the identity shift. You are no longer the person who gives up when it gets hard. You are no longer controlled by your emotions, by your fears, by other people's opinions. You are no longer weak in the mind. You've trained yourself, conditioned yourself, rebuilt yourself from the inside out. Now, when pain arrives, you don't flinch. You don't panic. You don't question whether you can handle it. You just handle it. When doubt creeps in, you don't spiral. You don't need reassurance. You've been here before. You know what to do. When the world tries to break you, you remain still, calm, unmoved. Not because nothing affects you, but because you've learned to control your response to everything. You own your strength now. It's not borrowed. It's not temporary. It's not dependent on external circumstances. It's yours, built by you, proven by you, unshakable. This is the inner power state, where you no longer surrender mentally. Where your mind becomes your greatest weapon instead of your biggest weakness. Where discipline replaces motivation. Where identity replaces effort. Where ownership replaces blame. You walk into chaos and remain focused. You face uncertainty and remain grounded. You encounter pain and remain composed. Not louder, not aggressive, not trying to prove anything, just controlled, fully in command of yourself. This is what they can't take from you. What the world can't break. What failure can't destroy. Your mind, your discipline, your refusal to surrender. And once you own that, you own everything. So here's what happens next. You decide. Right now. In this moment. Are you the person who surrenders when it's hard? Or are you the person who never quits? Are you going to keep blaming the world, or are you going to take full responsibility? Are you going to wait for someone to save you, or are you going to become unbreakable on your own? This is your choice. No one else can make it for you. And whatever you decide will define everything that follows. Be that warrior. Not the kind who talks about strength, the kind who embodies it. The one who keeps moving when progress is invisible, when results are silent, when effort feels unrewarded. Because that's where most people fail. Not at the beginning, not when things are hard. They fail in the middle, when nothing is happening. When days blur together, when discipline feels boring. When improvement is slow and unglamorous, that's the real battlefield. And this is where you separate yourself. You don't look for shortcuts. You don't chase comfort. You don't ask how long it will take. You ask one question only: what must be done today? Then you do it. Again. And again. And again. You train your mind to respect your word. You say you'll act. And you act. No debate. No negotiation. Over time, something changes. Your mind stops resisting. Your fear loses its voice. Your doubts stop arguing. Because they learn something important, you are no longer someone who quits. Pain comes, you continue. Pressure rises, you stay steady. Chaos surrounds you, you remain focused. Not emotional, not reactive. Controlled. You don't need motivation anymore. You don't wait for confidence to arrive. You've built something stronger than both. Certainty. Certainty that no matter what happens, you will not surrender, and that certainty becomes your presence. Your posture, your energy. People feel it before you speak. Because real power doesn't announce itself. It stands firm, unmoving, unbreakable. Be that. Comment, "I will not surrender" if you choose strength over excuses. If you're done waiting, done making excuses, done being weak in the mind. If you're ready to own your strength, to build discipline, to become the person who never quits. Say it, commit to it, let it become your identity. Because the world doesn't need more people who surrender. It needs warriors who refuse to break. Be that.